So Robin, I think it's really important that we take a few minutes just to talk through the patient advisory panel and what the objective is and was at the start of the charity, and when you decided to found UK Charity for Triple Negative Breast Cancer. As the coordinator of the PAC, I personally was touched by the fact that there just wasn't the information available, and that the use of terms like aggressive we need to change the narrative for triple negative breast cancer. So for me, the patient advisory panel is a really, really important part of the charity in making change. So it's nice to talk to you about what we've achieved so far throughout the year and where we're going forwards, and how important every person is who has joined and will join the patient advisory panel, and the change that they personally can contribute to.
Absolutely agree, and I think you coined the phrase some months ago, the voice of the experts, because they're the experts on TNBC, not me, not Professor 12s, not any oncologist, and we have to listen to them because they know what's important.
Yeah. So Robin, I think it's really important now that we've got the patient advisory panel up and running, and we've had it up for nearly a year now. And 2025 has been a really important time for us as a charity. Coordinating the patient advisory panel and trying to bring people in has been really pivotal, explaining what we do, why it matters, and what it means to be part of the panel. And I think having individuals who have had a triple negative diagnosis, giving them the opportunity to join a forum that allows their voice to be heard, is just so important in raising awareness and creating that information. I guess from your perspective, founding the charity, looking at what we're trying to move towards and where we've had such achievements in 2025, I think it's really important that we're able to relay that and explain.
You're absolutely right, Katherine, and maybe we don't talk about our successes as much as we should. But going back right to the beginning of the charity, when we first started talking to people who'd had a TNBC diagnosis, one of the first things that they said was, "We feel invisible. We feel as if we're not taken seriously." And I'll never forget one lady actually saying, "Who talks for us?" And of course, the answer is nobody did. And therefore we set out right from the beginning to say, well, we will talk for you. And in talking for you, it's really, really important that we understand how you feel about your treatment, how you feel about the pathway that you've been on, and how you feel about the charity and what improvements we can make. And the PAP is a really important part of that.
Okay. And I guess in 2025, we've been able to spearhead some significant changes and raise awareness in a number of ways, working with the patient advisory panel, creating the leaflets that are now available in all the Maggies and in Future Dreams. We've now got a social media presence. We've got our community, which is available. It's in our website for people to talk and, have those conversations. But from my perspective, coordinating the PAC, I really want to make sure that people understand the importance of their role on the patient advisory panel. So I know that in 2025 we've been able to work with NICE, which I think you can provide more information on in a moment. We've been actually approached now by a pharmaceutical company, BioNTech. We are being tabled now within the cancer community with regard to triple negative. We are being seen as having that ability to provide a voice for those who really want to see change. And I think it's so important that we let everybody know what we're trying to achieve.
Absolutely right. We've been able to take that voice of TNBC to some really important decision makers, not least of which was the Houses of Parliament. I met a number of MPs, and you get the usual reaction. I didn't know there was more than one type of breast cancer. Oh, that's really interesting. I didn't know about triple negative. Is there anything I can do to help? And they have. And we have had questions tabled in the House, which concluded in the actual Minister of Health standing up and talking about the new cancer plan, mentioning triple negative breast cancer, and that has to be a first ever.
Absolutely.
In hundreds of years in the Houses of Commons, and it was in the context of we have to ensure that in the new cancer plan we don't just take care of the lung cancers, we don't just take care of breast cancer generally, but we look at some of the specialist cancers and lower incidence cancers as well, because they are really important. So we've really got that message across, possibly in the most important decision makers situation. The other thing is we've done a lot of is taking that voice to healthcare professionals, because we really want the oncologists, the surgeons, the breast care nurses, the radiologists to understand what the needs are of people with TNBC. So, for example, we took a poster to ESMO 2025, which is where the great and the good of the European breast cancer world meet once a year, and we were able to present ourselves there. Again, a first. Nobody had ever presented anything about TNBC before at ESMO. And then, we were very pleased to be able to advise NICE. NICE, as you know, are the people who approve new drugs, but they also advise on treatments and the treatments that the oncologists and surgeons that deal with patients have to follow. And they had a specific issue that they were struggling with, and about TNBC, they came to us. We were able to go out to the PAP and say, what's your view on this? A very clear answer came back. They were very complimentary about that answer and said, wow, that was the clarity and the direction that we were looking for. And actually, they have now published the treatment, and it was the treatment that our PAP recommended. So when people are filling in these questionnaires, you really have a chance to decide what future treatments are going to be available for people with TNBC, and input into those treatments based on your lived experience of those treatments and how well you found them, how you were able to tolerate them, and so on. So really important. And finally, yes, I think we were really proud to be approached by BioNTech. This is a multi-billion-pound organisation, which you might recall were the people who developed the vaccine for the COVID vaccine for Pfizer. So these are some major players, and they needed our help, as amazing as that may seem, because they're now working on vaccines for TNBC. Now, it's many years away, but they needed our advice and our help. And again, we were able to go out to our PAP members and ask them a number of questions, which have now been relayed back to BioNTech and will form the basis of the trials and the research that they're going to be doing in the future on what I believe will be the future of treatments for TNBC, which is vaccines. And so that was really exciting.
Yeah, fantastic. And I think it just goes to show how important it is if people choose to join the patient advisory panel with us, that we have the platform now to elevate their voices, and we can collectively begin to really make change where it comes to triple negative breast cancer. And I think there's a huge opportunity going forward to really make change.